Birmingham is one of the most diverse cities in the UK, but also one of the worst integrated. Why is it a problem for people living in Birmingham?
There's a huge issue and no one's talking about it.
You don't necessarily see them all mixed together, they're not talking together, they're just in the same kind of space, and to an extent like that's integration, but that's not full integration.
Well, by speaking to members of the community, we found that schools and the city's geography have an enormous part to play.
There are schools where children will grow up and spend their whole life never mixing with anybody from a different culture.
Birmingham, is safe as any other city, but it's not integrated as much as I'd love to see it, because there's a lot of diversity in this city, but I don't feel that it's mixing.
We've proposed a solution which we hope will help to end Birmingham's integration crisis. Birmingham is one of the most diverse cities in the UK, with 42% of the population being BAME, Black, Asian and minority ethnic. 58% of the population are white, 27% Asian, 9% Afro-Caribbean and 4% mixed. According to the 2011 census, the minority ethnic population is higher than the national average. With increasing immigration, these figures are set to rise. Birmingham is also religiously diverse, with 41% of the population not being Christian. Distinct areas of the city, including the Chinese Quarter, Gay Village and Jewellery Quarter, in addition to churches, mosques and synagogues, along with other religious meeting places, all contribute to Birmingham's diverse character and make it into the vibrant city we see today. However, being in such a diverse city comes with its own challenges. Out of the 160 regions in England, Birmingham ranks 138th for integration, making it one of the worst integrated in the country, which made us question why this was the case and just how serious it really is. Even just looking at news reports, the extent of the problem is clearly evident. It's certainly both a local and a national concern. These tensions manifest themselves in many different ways, such as the 4,244 hate crimes reported in the West Midlands last year, a rise of 12% compared to the previous year. Our experience as new members of the city showed us that the problems arise not from malicious intent, but from a lack of awareness and appreciation for different cultures, ethnicities and religions. We spoke to Tom, who has lived and worked in Birmingham his whole life, and he explained the causes of a lack of integration and how the city of Birmingham is segregated.
Well, it's segregated in many different ways. It's segregated due to economical, financial situations. So it's demarcated in certain ethnicities, races. Well, I don't want to use the term race because there's not only one race. Ethnicities, also religious. So you've got outskirts of Birmingham where I've worked in the past. That's predominantly white, working class. And then you've got inner city. And some parts of the inner city is predominantly Asian, some parts is predominantly black. So there's a good mix, but whether it integrates is another story. There's a lot of fear, so fear is a barrier. Stereotypes about certain individuals, we're not going to go in there because we're not allowed to go there, because this invisible postcode demarcation that some young people feel that they're not allowed to cross because they're scared and they hear rumours or they're actually violently picked on.
We then spoke to Caitlin, who discussed how this lack of integration is related to schools.
That no schools, like you said, schools are not equally diverse. There are white schools, there are Asian schools, there are schools where children will grow up and spend their whole life never mixing with anybody from a different culture. Their community is closed in, their school is closed in, so when they're told things about other cultures, they believe them because they've got nothing to challenge it on, whereas all you need to do is have a mixture of children in school, and children will instantly reject those stereotypes and those preconceptions.
It is clear something needs to be done. Speaking to Caitlin, we were shocked to discover how this lack of integration in the city becomes apparent at such a young age.
I have issues with young children. I had an issue with my very first school where a little girl came in and at a school party we had some music on and she said, You're not allowed to dance to black music. And that was a 4-year-old. It was reception. So those messages are given early and they stick.
We also spoke to Beth, a young actor from Birmingham, who said that the problem definitely gets worse with age. She gave us a personal account of one particular occasion she felt excluded and misunderstood.
I didn't wash my hair every single day, and there'd be times that I'd be with my friends who do that, and it would be seen as like a negative. It would be like, oh my God, why aren't you doing that? And if we were taught about that, and if it was something we spoke about all the time, then it wouldn't even be an issue. It wouldn't be something that anyone had to address. It would just be normal. But it made me feel really left out. I felt really like secluded, and I didn't understand why this was an issue. But really, if we had that conversation through years of school, that people are different and there are different cultures and ways of doing things differently, I don't think it would have been an issue. I think it's worse the older you get. And I think the older I get, the more I realise that this is an issue that's been masked for years. We've been led to believe that everything's fine and everyone's equal, when really there's a huge issue and no one's talking about it.
So, how will we do this? Our proposed solution is a one-day event that focuses on active participation in order to increase understanding, which we feel is key to integration and social inclusion. We want to gather children aged 11 to 16 from secondary schools around the city, especially those in more segregated areas with a lack of exposure to certain ethnic, religious and social groups, to meet here at our very own guild. During this event, we will run fun and interactive activities to encourage mixing of students to create positive relationships based on mutual respect and understanding. As a result, we hope that members from all social groups will feel comfortable and be welcoming towards each other, leading to better integration in the future. The main event of the day will be a Q&A session on the main stage, where representatives such as social workers and society chairs will answer pre-prepared questions submitted by the students throughout the day. The aim is to encourage discussion about different religions, races and social groups, so that people can ask questions they may have always wondered but felt embarrassed or uncomfortable to ask. We aim to create a respectful and informative Q&A session where stereotypes and preconceptions can be challenged as one of the first steps to a more unified Birmingham. Outside, we will have fun and friendly team games, such as football matches and tug of war. Children will be put into random teams, encouraging teamwork and creating the ideal opportunity to make friends with other teenagers from across the city. As they work together towards a common goal, we hope they will focus on their similarities and not their differences.
Older generations and have racist beliefs. You're not going to change the way that they've been brought up to think and feel, but what you can do is in a younger generation they're not going to carry it on.
But things that come from home have a massive impact, and those issues that come from home are coming from home because those parents didn't have the opportunities to mix as children. You know, it's a cycle. So it has to start with children, and it's our prime opportunity to work with children, but I think in a lot of schools that opportunity is not taken up. You know, you have preconceptions that just carry on, and then you end up with adults who are not cohesive within their community.
If you teach the young people not to be afraid and give them new experiences, they then can bring that back home. They can educate their own families in certain circumstances. Once they start breaking out and understanding that there's a bigger wide world out there and it is safer than they think.
Birmingham is renowned around the world for its vibrancy and culture, but this would not be possible without its people. Although Birmingham is famed for its multiculturalism, we think that it can be even better. By encouraging young people to integrate, relate and understand, we believe that this city can only improve. Although our solution cannot change attitude overnight, we are confident it can catalyse a new wave of acceptance and integration for the new generation. That's why we are Brum. We are Brum.
We are Brum.
We are Brum.
We are Brum.
We are Brum.
We are Brum.
We are Brum.
We are Brum.